in judging you, because actually I was that girl. Was the girl in that situation. And as we are now, you could be that girl right now. You could be that woman in that situation where it looks your finances just look dire. And I want you to know that it's okay and you will be okay, because you've already taken the first step. Being here today, right now, shows that you are committed to making a change, to making a difference to your finances. So, where you are right now, I know it looks, some days it stresses you out. Sometimes you don't sleep. I get that. I hear you. I've been there. But I just want to assure you that that is a place that you do not have to stay. And you being here is already a sign that you're taking it in the right direction. So, welcome to this lunchtime chat about money, money, and me. So, I've described a lot of people's situations in a lot of different ways, and some people have it, worse off than others. I also want to say, if you find yourself in a situation where you're literally losing sleep because of money, because of debt, do reach out. There are organizations out there that are there to help you, that are there to support you, that are there to make sure that you start to move in the direction. One that I will always advocate for, especially if you've got debt, is a step change. Be sure to contact them. They will help you. And why I talk about step change in particular is, like, unlike some uh, other organizations. So if you Google debt, worry or debt worry, some of the organizations or companies that come up are companies that will consolidate your debt and do the work, but they will do it at a fee. Whereas step change does that for free, which is what you really need in this situation. And there are tons of other resources that you will find on my website that will be emailed to you. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands that there is help out there. Never lose hope. The hope is there, and you can make your finances right. So that is the first thing. Now, I have a whole lot of things that I talk about when it comes to finances. But today, as this is a first masterclass of this type, I just thought I would really dig deep into um, something that's a little bit different. So, we're not going to talk about budgets, we're not going to talk about debt. Now, if you know me, I love to talk about those two things. Those are like my bedrock, because they are the things that either are tripping us, or debt is tripping you and it's making you worse off than you are, or a budget is helping you. So those are the main things I do talk about. Today we're going to dig dive. We're just going to have a personal chat. Think of me as your sister, your little sister, big sister, whichever the case may be. We're going to just have a talk, because I think that we need to start right from the basics, the right from the start of it. We just need to really focus in and zoom into that. So, right, I hope you're all ready for this. So, no budgets today, no debt stories today. We are just going to look at you. As the session said, it's about money, 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 and you. So we're gonna look at you today. And when I talk about you, I'm looking at myself. Any content that comes from me, any information that comes from me, I'm always first looking at myself, because I know that I have found myself in that situation, I have been in that situation, or I am in that situation. So this is why I'm saying I'm your sister, because this is a chat where a loved one is talking to you, because they have been there or they are in it, and we're not judging each other, but we're trying to help each other. So, money, money, and me. There are three things today that we're going to talk about that are, I think, the fundamental things that we really have to explore and take time to think about. Now, I know that the numbers at the moment are key to you. You might be looking at, where am I financially? What does my actual figures look like? And like I said to you, there'll come a masterclass for it. Don't you worry, it's coming. We get down into the amounts, we get down into where you are. But today we're going to take a look at your mind. That's the thing. Now that's where it all flows. I've spoken and I've mentored and coached a few women in the last few years, and spoken on stages. And, you know, the one thing that I have really realized that we first need to deal with is these three things that I'm going to talk about today. These are the three fundamental things that I think, if we start from that point, we are going to win no matter what. And so, with that, I am going to say the first one, the very first one that I want to speak to sisters here, sisters who are listening right now, sisters that might listen years to come from now. The first thing I want us to address is the language that you speak to yourself. What do you say to yourself about money? Now, we have what I have found, like I said, from all the coaching sessions and from the sessions with the workshops of women, I found is that inherently women have this belief that they're not good with money, that they're not good with maths. And I think sometimes they don't think that they're not good with money per se, but they always say the statement, "Oh, I'm not really good with maths. Oh, I'm not really good with figures. Oh, I hate Excel spreadsheets." All of that kind of talk. And what that does, it translates into how you manage your money. Now, I want us to stop saying those words. Stop saying to yourself, you are not good with money. You're not good with math. Oh, I think that should be my husband's problem or my partner's problem or my parents' problem. Money is your problem. It's your matter. It's how you speak to about how you speak about money is going to matter. I mean, in the Bible, it will tell you that life and death are in the power of the tongue. So, what you say with your mouth about yourself concerning money is important. It is vital. It is so vital. I will always align. I'm Christian. I will always align what I say to the biblical truth. And as I said in Proverbs 18, verse 21, it does say power and the power of life and death comes from the tongue. In Proverbs 15, verse 4, it says a wholesome tongue is a tree of life. So the first thing that I want us to do is to start to talk to ourselves positively. I want us to start to affirm ourselves. And I know a lot of you have heard of affirmations and things like that. And it is important. It has a place because what you say is what you become. So it's really important that you start to talk to yourself about yourself in a positive light when it comes to money. And it's in everything. In everything, you need to have a positive conversation with yourself. You are what you say you are. So it's really important that you start to actually say to yourself, I am good with figures. I know that British Gas is my gas supplier. And I know that will seem a bit abstract, but knowing who your service providers are, knowing who you pay your bills to is really important. I want everyone on this call, everyone who will listen to this, if you don't know who your service providers are, you go out there and you find out who they are because it's important. It's all to do with your mental kind of registration of your links and how you spend your money, your bills, and it's really a mental exercise and it will help you. And I know right now it might seem really obscure, but I want you to be able to say, you know what, Vodafone is where I get my phone from. And actually, for Vodafone, I give them this amount of money for my phone. It's really important that you get down to that kind of small, minute detail to start to exercise the muscle of saying that you are good with your bills. You know your numbers. You're good with math. You are good at your money. It's really important to go and speak about yourself in a positive light when it comes to money. That's where it starts. As a man thinketh, so he is. Your mouth has the power for life and death. So let's start there. So that's the very first point that I want to leave you guys with today in this lunchtime session. That it's really important that you have a positive speech about yourself concerning money. And there's also things like, I'm so broke. Oh, I'm so poor, I can't afford that. We are not broke, we're not poor. And I know sometimes the figures are saying otherwise, but I just want you to understand that it's so important that you start to speak to yourself positively about money because that's in that place, that's where you're going to start to do things that are really going to change how you view money, your perspective of money, and how you handle money. So, the first point for anyone who's writing notes, for anyone who might have gotten lost in their sandwich or anything like that, my first point is the language to yourself about yourself concerning money and I will say math needs to be positive, it needs to change. So that's the first thing. Do make sure that you are speaking positively when it comes to your money. So, as a man thinks, as a man speaks, so is he. So let's get that right. So that's number one. Number two. So we're doing three things today. Number two, money mindset. Now, money mindset is also another foundation of getting your money right. That is one of the biggest things that will determine how you handle money. How you think about money is how you're going to handle money. So, one of the exercises that I do all the time, and I want everyone on this call to take some time to do this. If you've heard me say it before and you didn't do it, or you have done it, we need to always revisit these things because sometimes we tend to slip into the bad ways, the things that learning and unlearning, particularly in this case, unlearning and reframing how we think needs continual revisiting, continual reminding that this is what I am. So, money mindset. The exercise that I want you to go away and do is I want you to sit there and I need you to take an time to actually do this. So important to really take time and do this exercise because you're gonna have to think way back. And depending what age you are, way back for others can be a lot longer than others. But you're gonna have to do this. I want you to get a pen and paper and I want you to say to yourself and start to think to yourself, when was the first time I heard about money or about spending? So I want you to go back to your childhood, right back to your childhood, and start to think, what was the first kind of what did I hear about money? What can you recollect now about what you heard about money? How was money spoken about in your household? How was money addressed to you as a child? When did you start spending? How did you see spending? What did you see and what did you hear? It's really important for you to really have this moment of thinking back. And sometimes I get people say like, well, what do you mean? Like what? And I say to you, it's as simple as sometimes the first time you remember money is when you were given $1 to go to the ice cream man to buy an ice cream. Now that's back then, but and it's showing my age, but that kind of thing. When did you start to actually, when were you handed money? What happened when you were given money? In your household, how was money addressed? When your parents or your guardians or your caregivers were talking to you, how did they talk about money? What did they talk about money? Now, once you've had that internal dialogue, that reflective moment, you start to see a pattern, you start to have an understanding about where your actual thoughts about money right now have come from. Now, it seems pretty obvious, but actually, a lot of us have never actually taken time to really get down to how did I get to this point where I think of money like this? How did I get to this mindset? And I know there are lots of exercises out there if you are on a financial journey and you've listened to people, and sometimes they will talk to you about what is your money mindset? Do you have a scarcity mindset? Do you have a poverty mindset? All of that. But to get to the point, we need to understand how it was formed. And that's why this exercise is really important. I want you to really go and take some time and think about what were your first interactions with money. And from that point, you'll be able to draw down what you think about money. Now, your money mindset is really important because it will determine how you will handle money. I can't say it enough. I can't say it enough. How you think about money will determine how you handle money. So it's really important to go back, to think about it, to write it down, and start to form a viewpoint of what you think about money. What do you understand about money? And this is more about when it was formed because I am a children's financial literacy author. I write books for children about money and tell that habits and thoughts of money are formed by the age of 7 years old. So we need to really go back down that road to understand what we have formulated, what we have thought, what we now think of money. Now, once you have understood what that meant, what that was, you are now at this point and you have to decide for yourself, is this what I still believe? Is this what was true? Is this how I want to handle my money? So that is the second thing. You need to now that you've revisited, now that you've explored and you're starting to shape and understand how your opinions, how your beliefs, how your values on money were formed, you're now in a position to ask yourself truly and as transparent, is this what I believe about money? Is this what I want to continue believing about money? Is this what I want to pass down to my children? So have that conversation. So I really want to implore you to take this activity, go away and really have a deep dive into it. And sometimes don't rush it, because thinking about money and childhood comes with a lot of different aspects. It comes with a lot of different emotions and feelings. So I want you to take your time. It's not I sit down one day, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go away, and it's done. It might take a bit of time. It might take you some really like aha moments. Oh, okay, I didn't realize that. If you are in a position where you want to talk to your parents or you feel you can, you might want to explore with them. This is how what I see from what I was growing up. Is this what you meant? Is this how it was? And now that's down to your own relationships with your parents, your caregivers, your guardians. That's an extra step that you can take. If not, you can just self reflect. I want you to understand what you think about money. You need to understand how you really think about it, because it's going to determine how you handle it. So that's number two, money mindset. You really need to think about that. Now, I even have an extra challenge for those that are in relationships. Um, it will be, we once did an exercise with my husband where we did the exact same thing, but then had exchanged as to how you grew up thinking about money and how I grew up thinking about money, because actually that will help you as a couple, as a partnership, as a team to manage money going forward. And there's nothing wrong with any way anyone was brought up and any way they were taught about money. That's important. It's a safe space. It's a space where you say, okay, listen, this is what you learned. This is what I learned. Going forward, what are we doing in this house, in this team, in this parenting, in this marriage? What are we doing going forward? So now that's the extra one for anyone who wants to go down that road. But essentially, the first thing I really want you to do is take a look at you. Money, 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 and me. So it's you. We're talking about you, and you unincluded. We're all going to go away and really take some time to really do these exercises to really start to affirm ourselves in money. So, the first one that we talked about was your language to yourself about yourself concerning money. We're going to have positive language, we're going to be affirmative. We are going to start being kind to ourselves. Every time I speak to women, I always impress the need to be kind to yourself. There's a lot of things that you're doing right. There are a lot of things that you might not be getting so right. But the fact that you're willing to look at it and try and make it better, that is what's the most important thing. So be kind to yourself. When I was going through my debt free journey, I had to really be kind to myself, because when I started to look at the figures, started to look at my life, I was like, sis, how did you get here? Like how? Like, you went to school, you're educated, but you have no clue, absolutely clueless. And I had to be kind to myself because I just didn't know. And what you don't know, you don't know. But once you do know, it's important to start to put those things in practice. So, one, your language to yourself about yourself concerning money. Number two, what we've just been talking about is money mindset. What is your money mindset? What is it? After that, we go into the next level of, okay, this is what it is. What do I want it to be? And it's a journey. All of this is a journey. It is an absolute journey. It is not a sprint. It is a long marathon. If you're a runner, you get to the when you're running a marathon, you get to the city of. To be fair, I've never run one, and I don't know how they do it because it's just one kilometer is killing me. But there are points where it's a long road. You need to take it easy and you need to be kind to yourself. Now, the final thing that I want to say to you guys is that, and that's really important in any case for anyone in anything, but when it comes to what we've been talking about money and trying to make and improve your money situation, the third thing that I really want to urge you and I want to really impress on you is to act. Now, women notoriously, we're very good at talking. We're very good at talking. We can talk for years and years and on. You can attend the webinars, you can attend the master classes, you can attend the events, you can speak to your sister, to your mother, to your friend, to whoever might hear. You can talk all you like, but actually, biblically, it says, let me tell you what it says. Proverbs 14, verse 23 says, mere talk will lead to poverty. Now, I looked at that. Oh, wow. The Bible's actual, but it's telling facts. Nothing is going to change unless you do it. Come here. Come here, or you like spend your lunch time with me, read books on end like I do. Do all of that. You can do it. You can read. You can go to all the events. But let me tell you something. If every time you go, you come off pumped, you come off excited, I'm going to do this. And then a month later, 2 months later, nothing has happened. What did the Bible say? I'll just leave. I'm not even going to repeat it. What did the Bible say? We need to act. 2 Thessalonians 3 verse 10 says, not working you will not eat if you do not work. You're going to have to put in the work. I have led with this first masterclass thinking about things that we need to do because I think sometimes we imagine like I'm going to go off and do a budget. But actually, if your mind is not right, if your mind is not set up in the way it should be, when you haven't worked on your mind, when you haven't worked on how you speak to yourself, you are going to start to fall back into the thing. Reframing and rethinking and doing things differently takes a long time and it's a nice steady pace, but it requires action. Because guess what? You might see that you're in debt, right? You will see that you look at your figures and you're just gobsmacked, right? But if you ever talk, I like, for example, if Amazon keeps coming through your door and knocking, and so for her, from whatever courier company knows your name and comes and says hi Rumbi because she's been to your address that many times, nothing is going to change. So we need to act. We don't only need to act in actual like in stopping doing those kind of practical things, but we need to act when it comes to our mindset. We need to act. I cannot say this enough because actually we are very good at talking, very good at it. But the acting piece is missing. So I just want to say we need to act. One of the things that I do want to encourage you, because I know money is a hard conversation. It's hard for families, it's hard for couples. It's one of the leading reasons for divorce. It's hard. It's called childhood. It has caused childhood trauma between parents and children. It's a hard subject, but it doesn't have to be that hard. It truly doesn't have to. We've made it harder than it is. We've given it a power that it does not deserve. So I want you to be able to act, to start to release yourself from this noose that it has, because money is just a tool. Ultimately, money is just a tool. Unfortunately, it has become the noose around our necks. It has become an idol. It has become a thing that we worship. It has become a thing that keeps us awake at night because we don't know how we're going to pay our bills. It has become the thing that determines what work we do. It determines, going to a job that you absolutely hate, but you have no choice because your money isn't right. So it's really important that we start to act. But what I want to really encourage you is to do bite size, do small actions. Small actions will lead to the bigger thing. In order to really make progress, in order to make real changes when it comes to your money or anything else in your life, you're going to have to start small, start where you are with what you have, but you need to act. Now, action not only talks about working on yourself, but also working on the things that can improve your life. Many of you here have ideas. You have businesses in your hands. You have great ideas, but you're sleeping on them. You're not acting on them. Why? Why are you procrastinating? I know fear is big out there, but I just want to say to you start where you are. A lot of us start to think of all sorts and manner of reasons why not to do something. I'll give you an example. You have an idea, you have a gift that you've been given, and all you can start to think about is what people will see you, how they'll perceive you. People don't care about you enough. They really don't. It's just your thoughts that they care, but they don't care. You could be waiting for the time to be right. I could have waited to have a ring light. If I tell you now this computer is propped on a suitcase so you can see me like this, that's how real it is because I needed to get this word out. I couldn't keep saying, I'll wait until I have the ring light, I'll wait until I have an MUA, I'll wait. If you see my hair, the roots are not done, but I could not wait anymore. And I want to really encourage you to start with what you have and where you are. What you have is more than enough. It truly is. So I want you to start. And that's where the action starts. I tell you the beauty of acting when you start to do one thing, next thing you're doing another and another and another. It starts to just flow. So acting is important. And sometimes, you know, you might think, starting a business idea is a big idea. How about you just start by doing this exercise we've just spoken about? That is action. If you go away today and do that exercise, you have acted. I tell you what, you're going to start to see, once you start to do one action after the other, you're going to start to see something beautiful in your life, that you're a doer and not a sayer. Because here it says, mere talk leads to poverty. It's not my words, it's the Bible. Fact. You have to start to do the thing. I want you to go and do something. Do something about this. You've attended this lunch, you've committed your time to be here with me. And I want you to go and do something. If you're a reader, read books. I have I have a plethora of recommendations I can give you. But I want you to go and look out Rich Dad Poor Dad, Money Game by Dave Ramsey. I'll put some out. We'll send you out information. Don't you worry. Read a book. Start from it. This is how Harvest Family Finance started. I picked up Rich Dad Poor Dad. Do you know why I got to that point? I got to the point because me and my husband were made redundant and we had no jobs, no income, bills to pay, a child looking at us, and 14,000 pounds of debt. If you ask me before these jobs went, if how we got there, I could not tell you. I could not tell you. It's only when I started to open my eyes and awaken to where I really was and what I was doing, I started to realize, oh my goodness, there's so much I don't know, but I'm not going to allow my daughter to go down this route. And with my daughter, I'm not going to allow anyone, no sister of mine, is being left behind because we are going to get our money right. We are going to make money a tool. We are going to make money not an idol in our lives, but just a tool to do the things that we have been called to do, the things that we love to do. the things that we want to do, the legacy that we want to leave for our children, the inheritance we want to leave for our children's children. All of those things that we want to do have to start with getting our mind right. And that starts from here and here. Once we talk right, once we think right, we start to act right. And in the action, that's where it's at. In the action, you are powerful. Girl, you are too blessed to be stressed about money. You are so gifted and talented with what you have right now. You have everything you need. I tell you what, if there's anything that's been more powerful than anything, is to understand that what you have right now is enough. That's it. That's it. It's enough. Look at us now. We are in a Zoom masterclass. I have a laptop and myself and my mouth. That's it. And a suitcase that's propping the laptop. But I've got a suitcase. I have it. I'm doing it. And I want you to do the same. We are going to win. We are going to win. And we're going to spread it so that women across the globe will also win. So, today, in summary, I just wanted to really just come to you and say your language to yourself about yourself concerning money is so important, and you're going to speak positively. Your money mindset is key. It's key to understand what you think, what you have learned, and to understand what it is that you actually want and which way you want to go. And thirdly and finally, it is important to act. Action is what's going to get you across the line. It is what's going to get you and your money to balance. It's going to get your money to work for you. It's going to get your money to multiply. Because I tell you what, when your eyes are starting to be open, you will understand that you don't have to work hour per hour for your money. Money can multiply. There are vehicles, there are things that are out there that make money multiply without you having to physically work for it. It's there. It's waiting for us to open our eyes, to open our mouths, our minds and our mouth to receive it. So that's what I really wanted to say to you today. Money, Money, and Me was all about you and I thinking right, talking right, and acting. And part of this acting, actually, whilst I'm there, my team will crucify me if I don't mention this. So you are going to get a quiz after this. I want you to take time to look at that quiz and do it. This quiz is going to help you understand where you are financially in your head, how you kind of think, how you are, where your actual situation is. Because if you were like me back in 2019, delusional, dululu of where I was. Because actually, I didn't even think about where I was financially. I was just YOLOing, I was just living. And it's time for us to understand where we are. So there's a quiz that's going to be sent out to you to your email. Please take the time to do this. And with that quiz, you will get in return, depending on how you score on the quiz, a money mastery toolkit. This toolkit is to help you to start to work up on the things that you need to work on so that you and your money are working perfectly. That your money is a tool, right? That your money is multiplying. But first of all, let's get out of the places that we might be that are not serving us or not working out, and let's start to do the work. You also get a feedback form. I really appreciate your feedback about how you found the session, how you found the booking, what more you would like or less that of what you would like. It's really important. Your feedback matters. And also, you will also get some codes of any future products or things that I have that will be on sale on my website, which I really encourage you to be a doer. I really, above all things, sales and everything, I just don't want you to be in 2026 and your finances are looking the same. Ah, ah, I don't know about you, but me, it's not happening. And I don't want to do it alone. I want to do it with you. We're going to do this. We're going to do this because we are more than able to do anything that we put our mind to. So that's me. That's today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was useful. I hope it has entered because if it doesn't enter, 2025 is September 2026. I'll see you here again. We'll be having the same conversation. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. So that's me. That's lunchtime. Anyone? Anything to say? And let me drink some water whilst you guys do that. Can't be shy. Come on, girls. Come on, girls. Come on, girls. You can say something. Come on. Somebody say something.
I can say something. I wanted to say that I have, for me, my big thing is procrastination, which is just not doing things that I plan to do. Even at work, I found myself I procrastinate. Even with my work, I do the easy stuff and leave the difficult stuff. So I'm learning to act on things, even the difficult things, or even learn to act in terms of talking or speaking the difficult thing. So if you have anything that can help with procrastination, that will also be helpful. But thank you very much for this. So acting is my take. Thank you.
Then, thank you, Chennai. Thank you for that. So, uh, me and you, procrastination. Let me tell you about procrastination. Being here doing this right now is probably taking me a year. Why? Procrastination. So I understand fully. But one of the things that I am learning and that I hope it helps you is that there are a couple of things. So one is I think do just do it. I think half of our issue is that we're waiting for something, I don't know, we're waiting for something to happen before we do the thing. And as soon as something you keep not doing it, I want to challenge you to do that very thing. The most it's like at work. There are certain emails, right? They are the ones that are left for 5 o'clock. And actually they take 10 minutes, 5 minutes to answer, but because they're the most difficult, we leave them. Now there's a technique that actually says, and I can't remember where it's from, that says always start with the hardest task first. Because once you've done that email that is hard but takes you 5 minutes, you are going to be productive. You're going to flow in all the other things. So, what I'm trying to say to you is that the thing that you're procrastinating, if it keeps coming up to you again and again, do something about it. And sometimes don't think about the big thing when it comes to it. So, for instance, when I started talking on Instagram. And my Instagram, I did a walk every day, and I just said to myself, you know what? I'm not gonna wait because there's a time I was waiting to have a studio. I was waiting to be able to have the ring lights, the lighting perfect, the makeup done, and then it was like, you know what? You keep waiting to do this. You're going to talk whilst you're on your walk, and in the in my early morning walks, guys, I've just woken up. I'm trying to get it's not pretty. But you know what? I just started. And every day I started to talk. Every day. And I had committed to doing at least 6 months of talking every single day I got on a walk. Do you know by the end of the 6 month, it was so natural for me to just talk and walk. It was natural. So just start. That's one of the key things. But also, another thing that could help with procrastination is something that Atomic Habits, if you've ever read the book, it talks about habit stacking. So, one of the things that I've found is that if there's something that you already do now effortlessly, senselessly, right? Add another habit on before it or after it. So if you are saying that you, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. What did I do? So, oh, well, I'll give you this one. So there's a time I was committed to doing some burpees, but I somehow could not find any time in 24 hours to do these burpees, which is crazy. So what I did was that I habit stacked it. So every time my daughter went into the shower, while she showered in the morning, I would do the burpees. So her entering the shower meant burpees. And you know what? Within 30 days, it was almost I didn't have to think about it. Shower equated to burpees. So things like that. So I would really recommend habit stacking. So the thing that you already procrastinated, add it onto something that you enjoy doing or already do, add it. And also don't think if you have a business, right, that you have, right? So if you do meditation in the morning and it's 15 minutes, rather than thinking I'm going to start this business, say after the 15 minutes of meditation, I'm going to have 10 minutes and I'm just going to write down what I want to do for this business. I'm just going to write. Don't overcomplicate. Don't stress yourself. Don't make it bigger than it is because fear and procrastination start to push through when you start to have those barriers. So after meditating for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, you start to write, I want this business to look like this. I'm going to do this. What do I need? Before you know it, that 10 minutes is going to start to um to be an hour because you're just in flow, you're enjoying it, you're doing it. Before you know, you're going to actually start doing. So I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. That's so helpful.
Anybody else want to say something? Let me just type these verses whilst we do this, but please feel free to jump in.
Hi,
Hi
I have
there.
a question. So I wanted to ask, how do you overcome fear? Because often feel like for me, for example, I have a lot of good ideas and things that I know I need to do, but I feel like fear sometimes holds me back, like the fear of failing, the fear of it not working out, and maybe what people will say. So how do you overcome fear?
Fear, fear is a big one, and thank you for that, Sorry. I think a lot of us, it's the reason, it's the thing that's holding us back a lot. Um, and I think it's really important to have some introspection, some reflection about what it is that you're fearing. Because I think sometimes we even use the word fear and we haven't really thought about what it is that we fear. So I like to give examples. So yeah, so I was afraid that if I go up on Instagram every day looking the way I would look, people wouldn't receive it. They would judge me. They'll think about this, and then you have to start to unpack what the real issue is there, and then you have to start to understand because fear masks itself as other things with the other the real things that you need to work on. So I would say that take some time, write out what your actual fear is, and then now try and see how best you can overcome what the actual problem is. My fear of starting wasn't, it was a fear, it was imposter syndrome. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was worthy enough. How can I go out and tell women to do better with their money when uh, I don't have enough money for groceries this week? How is that possible? You know? And then I had to start to say to myself, but actually, Rumbi, someone out there wants to hear that the same thing that you're talking about because they're in that situation. How are we going to help each other? So I think just really write down. You're gonna hear me again talk about really thinking about things because I think a lot of the things I know, we need to really understand the causes of things. So I want you to take some time to understand what it is that you're fearing, and also write down what is the worst thing that could happen. The worst thing that could have happened, people would have said, what is she talking about? What gives it the right to talk about that? etc etc. But actually, it's not the worst thing because I'm brave enough, I'm courageous enough to do this. They're probably thinking what I'm saying. They probably actually will be it with helping. And actually, if there's anything I want to deliver us as women, is no one cares about you as much as you think people do. No one actually cares. We think that people think so much about us, but life is busy, life is tough, we're in debt, there's a lot of things going on. People don't care as much as we think they do. But also, you have to be confident in who you are. If you work on yourself, who you are, what you're about, who God said you are, fear will become it that it becomes less and less. The noise of fear starts to diminish as you start to understand who you are, what you're called for, and how. Like, I cannot stress enough that everything everything that you have is beautiful and is worthy of what you want to do. So I hope that helps. But it's such a big thing, and a lot of us don't get me. I'm not. I will always say I fear even before this. I was like, I'm gonna fear that the woman gonna come here and think, what is she talking about? What is she about? What who does she think she is? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Fear will always be there. But once we start to silence its noise and it gets smaller, the better it gets. I hope that helps.
Thank you. That really helped.
I have to drop off in a minute, but I just wanted to share something that was shared with me a while ago around this invisible army of what will they say, this invisible army, who are the theys? And what I started doing was breaking down who are these they that I'm worried about, and then is it just a group of people, is it an individual, is it someone that I admire? And when you really take the time to break it down and think about who are these they that I'm worried about, you actually well, I found myself laughing at myself and thinking, why am I worried about these people who have really no interest in my life? They're just people going about their business. But yeah, I just wanted to share that and to say just thank you so much for everything you shared today. As I said in my comment, I'm so glad you pushed past whatever barriers you had, because this was great, much needed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dodo. And it's so I love that because honestly, and also, do you know what I've started to say to myself? If I look at my own life, do I even have time to think about what anyone else thinks? I'm so busy with the thousands of things that I need to do. Now, if you take yourself and think, if you're so busy with your own life, do you truly believe that everyone around you isn't as busy as they are with their own lives? Yeah, they'll throw a comment. And also, social media hasn't made it easy because people can be keyboard warriors and they can say something, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But thank you, Rilla, so much for that. That was really, really, really good. Now, ladies, anybody else want to say something? Do take a look at your emails. Do action it. Visit my website. If you have any children, I also have, as I mentioned, I have books that are out there for children that I would really like you guys to make sure that as you work on yourself, your children, you start to work on them, because like that second exercise, what you are teaching them, and I will say this and I'll say it again and again. It's not necessarily about what you're saying. It's about you going to the shop saying, I'm going to buy bread, and you come back with a trolley full of things. That's saying something to them. It's them seeing the Amazon packages every day. You know, that's saying something to them. So just don't think about what you are saying to them. It's about your actions. And particularly when it comes to spending, about what you say about money to them, in terms of if they ask you for something, how you're responding to that. All those things, they matter because they form a money mindset. You are in a position right now where you are forming your children's money mindset. And I want to leave you with that, because if when you do your exercise and you think, wow, this is what my parents or my caregiver, this is what they left me with. If you're a parent, you're also responsible for that. But thank you so much for coming this lunchtime. I hope you had a good time because I certainly did. And I pray that you go out and you're kind to yourself, you talk positive to yourself, and that you act. Thank you so much for joining us today.